Wearing a shirt that talks about my wiener size.
As it should be.
Actually, my hat, the whole video went fit. It's that I don't know if it ever shows it specifically on camera, but it's the same thing, hung like a tuna can.
And you got the hat to prove it.
Yep.
Before we got into that, the segment actually is about why we're here. So this little segment we just came up on the fly is Hollerin Hippies. So these are going to be our Hollerin Hippies segments. And it could be with any one of us, me, Billy, Rod, Joel, Connor, Diego. It doesn't matter who it is. Just a bunch of hippies just out here hollering some dumb shit, basically.
Pretty much. Just kind of a laid back little sit down where we can kind of be a little more casual and not worry about anything going on with lines or out on the trails or out with a gun or anything like that. We can just sit down, talk, maybe get some input from you guys, and just kind of tell some stories, laugh, have a few drinks, and hang out.
Yeah, speaking about drinks, man, I will say my drink probably wouldn't be as cold as it is if it wasn't for good old PGH, man. Sick koozies and even better flies. And, I mean, you can tell your little backstory with PGH. Like, you just reached out to him.
Yeah, I did. Right before we filmed mine and Colton's little challenge video we did there, I had seen PGH. He had, the gentleman who runs that, had commented on our post. Joking around, I commented back. I was like, yeah, I talked some smack to you, man, but I looked through your profile. I got a lot of respect, being somebody who ties jigs and makes baits as well. I understand how difficult it is to get to where you're at in a craft like that and put out as good of a product as he does. His craftsmanship is just off the chain, and I just made a joke about, like, I can't talk crap to you just because I've seen your work. It's just so phenomenal. And he had said something back about my work, and we, I messaged him. We talked back and forth, and the gentleman is just exactly that, stand-up gentleman. He was a pleasure to talk to. We actually talked about a couple of our own design patterns and bounced some things back and forth, and we're able to discuss a little bit more in depth on what we do and how we build some of our baits. And all I gotta say is I'm not a fly fisherman, but just from the way my interactions went with that guy, that's got to be some quality stuff he's putting out, because somebody who's willing to sit down and discuss some private stuff like that with, like, your bait designs and your blueprints on how you do stuff, just being able to share that and share that kind of that knowledge and intelligence with another guy who makes baits, it tells that you're really a stand-up guy and care about what you're putting out, not just putting something on the market to make a dollar. Yeah, no,
he's ever since the first time. The best part is, like, we haven't even met him in person. It was just all over Instagram. And shout out to him again. He came out, he's like, dude, I love your guys' name. Like, that that name is sick. And I'm like, well, we got to thank Joel for that one, because my dumb ass didn't think about it. His pearl emergers, you guys can go on his website and see it, and through our socials, and see all the stuff we've caught on the pearl emerger when I was doing my time out west. Like, that's how it started. And then the KOs came in. The KOs are amazing how well he's taken off with that.
Oh, God, those KOs are sick.
And then also, too, his new collab that he just got going on, and some of the outreach events that he does is great. Kurt's a good guy, man. So thanks, Kurt, if you're watching. You're a great dude. Based off, the community that we've created so far, Guys Fishing Weekend, another shout out to those guys. Me on their podcast in this past summer. They're a big community based too. So we're just just some hippies and some trouty people and some fishy people getting together and having a good time, man. So
a little while back, in the beginning of last summer,
Fish of 10,000 casts.
Fish of 10,000 casts. Musky gentleman, one of my really good friends, one of my best friends at this point, named Keith Cortopassi, runs Musky Cycle Guide Service out here in the Warsaw area on the Channel Lakes out here. Well, he's putting on a tournament, a musky tournament, and our idiot butts decided we're gonna take part in this. I decided I wanted to do it. I've fallen, if you guys have not noticed the tattoo, I have absolutely fallen in love with the musky industry and the sport of chasing these fish. I mean, these giants are just something so unique and something so special. And although I've never boated a muskie without Keith in the boat with me, I thought, a tournament's a great place to start.
Yeah.
I've got my own gear and have my own baits, and I've been out for them a couple times, lost two by myself at this point, just haven't been able to land them, but I've hooked into them. And he decided to put on a tournament, and we said, let's do it. I called Colton up a couple weeks ago while I was at work and said, hey man, let's go chase these fish. Let's go sign up for this tournament and see what we can do. And the cool thing about this tournament is it's entirely pretty much bragging rights. You get a little trophy if you win, and then there's a side bet that we're doing. It's $10 to join in on the side bet for big fish, biggest fish of the tournament that's going to win the side bet. But all of the money, it's $100 per boat to enter, and all of the money is going to go back into the stocking program here in Indiana for our muskies. Something so unique about our muskies in this state is they don't naturally spawn. Because of the soil composition and the weather we get in our spring, it just fluctuates so much. The eggs are laid, they're fertilized, the muskies go through their spawning patterns and everything, but the eggs die before they can hatch. And so what we have in these lakes right now is all we have unless we stock more. And the last leading tournament trail that used to do, fundraisers for the stocking programs out here, is not doing them this year. They have published online that they deemed that we have enough muskies in our lakes to not stock them. But if you look at the numbers, doesn't make sense. I'm not going to go out and bash anybody and say that they're lying or anything, but there's some conspiracy behind the whole ordeal. Because if you look at the numbers, they're not where they should be. They're not where they used to be. But they're claiming that there's enough muskies in our lakes and that they're not going to be hosting the tournament. They also have claimed that it has to do with volunteer work too, which I can see a little more understandably. They're just not getting the people to help with these tournaments to keep them going. For you guys who are not from this area, the chain of lakes, the Barbie chain of lakes, is a compilation of seven different bodies of water. And originally these were all small ponds. And they went through and they dredged them out, deepened them up. Some of them were more than one pond, and they filled them in and built connecting channels through them. And these channels aren't but 2-3 foot deep, pretty shallow channels. Just made them all into one big lake. We have another one real close to here, probably within the next 10 miles from here. It's called Webster Lake, similar thing, as well as Tippecanoe Lake and James Lake. And there are 2 ponds that were connected together as well. And none of these are giant bodies of water, medium-sized.
Giant in the size of surface area covered on the landscape, but if you go depth-wise, we found out,
they're pretty deep. Yeah,
which we found out, Tippy, my girlfriend's dad has a place, and family, I should say, has a place out there, and he told me, he's like, I think it's the deepest lake in Indiana, and I'm like, I think you're right, but I don't remember, and he's like, no, I'm pretty sure, and I'm like, all right, cool, and then we looked it up, 123 foot.
That's massive.
So,
that's insane.
That's a deep-ass lake, but and I met, as you guys can watch through the video that we have from in the fall, Keith was on there, and if these guys are anything like Keith, Keith surrounds himself with good people. He is good people, and fucking ball of knowledge that guy is, and so I don't think anybody will be a jerk in this tournament.
Oh, not at all.
But
not at all. This is going to be a real good group. I know. I know a lot of the guys who are going to be involved in it. Like I said on the way down here, Keith's brother Adam is going to be one of them, and I've met quite a few of these guys that are going to be involved in this tournament. It's all good people, all really good people. We're all doing it for the same cause. We want to put into what we get out of these waters.
Exactly.
We want to make sure that we're doing our part in putting the money in to keep the funding there in order to have the fisheries that we do, keeping the muskies in our lake. Indiana used to be a destination location for musky fishing because of these lakes here, because of Webster, because of the Barbie chain, because of Tippy. And just through the years, the money was starting to dry up. It wasn't being allocated to funding the muskies that are being put in there. Originally, they were only put in there because we have very bad problems with shad populations. Mm-hmm. And so we needed a fish that could go in there and slash down these numbers dramatically. And they found that the muskies would be the best thing. And so we just want to make sure we're doing our part, because I know I personally have found an absolute passion for fishing for these fish. Yeah. I know, Colt, you said the same thing. You really love the art of this experience out here.
Yeah, it's like another thing. I'm going to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Another thing with it too, it's like this style of fishing reminds me more of hunting.
It truly is.
It is. You are targeting an apex, not only because it's an apex predator, but you're targeting a species that does more stealth tracing and following your bait than it does actual biting. And so you're targeting a species that's A, it's hard to catch, B, that has its own culture and it's mystic in a way. Yeah. A fish doesn't get a nickname, fish at 10,000 casts, just because a guy was just like, I'll give it to him. No, they've earned that nickname for a reason. And there's a lot of people in this country that don't know a muskie, and B, have never even seen a muskie, or C, never even caught a muskie. Mm-hmm. So being able to say you caught a muskie is pretty cool. Being able to say that you target muskie, that's a whole nother little kind of notch that you're on. That's pretty neat. And it's just the fish itself is cool. You really gotta hone in on all instincts of it. Like, you really got to zone in and be there. It's almost like fly fishing, just because you really got to make sure you're in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just be like in it for 30 minutes and be like, I'm taking like an hour break, or I'm taking like a 30-minute break. Like, no, you're in it to win it. And just not only with this tournament, but just regular like leisure fishing as well too. Like,
yeah, there is no leisure fishing when it comes to this site.
Yeah, no, it's a workout.
This is an entire. I mean, there's no. I don't even know how to phrase this right.
Yeah.
There's no point where you can lull or zone out, because that's the moment something's going to happen.
Oh, it's the moment that big bastard finally, you don't see him fall, or you don't see her falling, but she strikes then. I don't know much, and you can correct me. But when I was with these guys in the fall, and also doing a little bit of research too, reading articles and watching videos, it's on that hang of the figure eight.
Yep. It's that turn. It's an instinctual thing for them. They think that they're putting this energy out, that they're following this bait for so long. They see that turn, and instinctually, it's for them now or never.
Yeah,
it's the same way with when you're bass fishing and you run your spinnerbait or crankbait into a log or a rock, and you give it that sudden stop, that sudden pause. Instinctually, that bass has got to go.
Yeah.
Or walking.
When you're pulling it through the weeds, like you pull it through the weeds, you're pulling, and it comes. You feel that come through the weeds, and it just stops and pulsates right there.
Yep.
And it's the same thing on the hang on the figure eight. So.
Or when you're fly fishing and you strip, and you give it that pause. That's when your trout decide to eat, because it's instinctual for them. This is my time. This is my moment. When those muskies see that turn, that's their opportunity.
Yeah.
Not only are they're now got a broadside bait, which, as most of the Essex family, I pronounced that right?
Yeah,
yep. The Essex families, the pikes, the muskies, the pickerels, they like to T-bone a bait. They are very much thrashing fish, and so when they T-bone a bait, they thrash really violently in order to stun it or kill it before they can turn it around and suck it down head first. Mm-hmm. And so when they get that hang, that's their opportunity to hit broadside and give it that thrash to stun. And so instinctually they know, all right, that's where I need to eat down that turn. And I know you haven't got one boat side yet to do that, and it is such a cool thing to watch. I mean, when it's right there at your feet, you just see this 40-inch plus monster of a fish just absolutely crush a bait. It is so cool.
Yeah, no, we had that actually in the Barbie chain in the fall. I had that one just absolute log follow me to the boat, but yeah, no takers yet on the boat. But I'm excited once they do. Man.
Like you said, that one you caught though came sideways at your bait, kind of proving that whole idea of the T-bone thing. It came sideways.
Yeah,
on the
so
weeds.
through that prop wash, like, I mean, it was so silly because you guys saw it in the video too. You hook it back in there, you let it swing in the prop wash, and then you pull it out of the prop wash, you swing it out. And as soon as that did like 2 cranks, I mean, that old girl came right out of that prop wash. And like you said, just sideways, just T-bone the hell out of that bait.
Yeah, that's such a cool thing to see.
Yeah, it was cool to see. Because like you said, all you're seeing is teeth and jaws, man.
Dude, all I saw, I was sitting there kicked back. I was letting you can't really troll 2 baits back there with 2 guys. There's just not enough room. You'll tangle up rods and whatnot, miss fish. It just becomes a fiasco. Yeah, and it's real shallow. But I know from where I was sitting, I was kind of watching Colt and I was taking a drink and I was smoking, and all of a sudden I just looked over, and as I looked at that bait, I just saw a big flash of white, and I was like, oh, there's a follow. And before I could even think like, hey, that's a follow, I watched Colton's rod almost get ripped out of his hands. It was such a cool thing to watch. It was my first time seeing one actually hit. I caught him trolling, but never visually seen them hit on a troll, and that was really cool.
Yeah, not only seeing it too, and then just feeling that just pure dead weight at the end of that rod. Like, I know it was trolling, and it is better when you catch them casting, I'm sure of it, but like even trolling too, it's not like when you're trolling on the Great Lakes for salmon and trout, you're putting in a rod holder, like you are the rod holder. Yeah. So there is a little bit of, not challenge I would say, but a little bit of,
you feel the strike.
You feel the strike, and like you have to make sure you are the one controlling that bait. Right. So like it's not just set and go. Like you have to make sure you lift it right, or make sure that bait's moving. So there's a little tiny minuscule amount to it. But I'm excited for whenever the day comes to top water. I definitely going on top water.
Oh, it's so cool. Fun. It's so cool.
And Billy's a little salty about it. Not salty about it, but kind of laughed at me. My little fairy wands, he calls them. I did bring the 10 weight, so we're going to see if it's legal, make sure it's legal tomorrow. Yeah. So no promises you guys see the fly rod out tomorrow, but I did bring it just in case, because 10 weights can't hold a musky on it.
Absolutely.
I got steel leader too, so we'll make sure that if I do hook up, hopefully it sticks. Sound and blinkers to your guys' GoPro, and of course when you're out in the woods, deer and turkey, especially because them bastards can see 2 country miles.
Dumb as they are, they're so.
Yeah, no, they're a pea-brain bastard. But as you guys see on the new recent turkey hunt video, clearly I'm a pea-brain bastard myself because I messed up that shot. But yes, you can turn your red light off, flashing up front through your settings and your sound too. So
I just gotta say that's 2 things I've got. I can hang on you at the moment. I've outfished you in a video and I've out-hunted you in a video.
Now we go back, and there's a lot of subscribers say this too, that I shouldn't have let you use the wake bait. So I will say we'll hold it too.
You take out my wake bait fish, my score still beats you. Including your top waters without my wake.
Yes,
baits.
but we are still 3-2, and you can never say that old fucking momentum, old Mo. Wouldn't have been different.
Dude, I'm just a fishy
also,
guy.
too, what I want to do, your stick. But what I want to do is I want to do you single cast, I'm single cast. You single cast, I'm single cast.
No, that's bullshit.
No, that's even speed at that point.
No.
That's even speed at that point. That's all I gotta say.
That ain't about even speed though.
Also,
it's about the conventional against the fly. If you take away my perks of the conventional, I don't get the same perks as the fly. These smaller baits that mimic better. I don't get that. I can't cast that.
I will say this too. Your outlandish comment of saying you can grab a fly rod and beat me on the fly rod. That was pretty out there.
I did only specifically say musky though.
Only specifically say musky. That's true. You saved yourself on that. But
now you put me head to head against you on trout with fly gear. That might be a different story.
But yeah, so what we wanted to mention to you guys too, real quick, was some topics we had in mind. Yeah, give me another one. That'd be great. Some topics that we had in mind. One of them was another Hollerin Hippies episode of just getting hammered on the riverbank catfishing. Seeing what you guys think about that.
I hope they want that one.
Yeah, and honestly, if you guys don't want it, we're probably still gonna fucking do it anyways. But so yeah, we're gonna do that, and then as well too. What was the other one? There was another one too. It's been a long week.
Yeah, it's been
a long, short week.
Been a long
That
day
makes
for me
sense.
too.
Yeah.